So the very first thing I want to talk about today is menu selling. Now bear in mind, I did F&I 35 years ago as a daily employee of a dealership. I was an F&I director for several large dealerships. I was a director. I mean, the way we did F&I then is not the way you do F&I today. So through the years, I've reinvented myself, I've moved forward, and today the menu is the way, not a way, to do F&I. It's the only safe, legal, and ethical way to present products, keep yourself protected. When I spoke at an NADA convention several years back, I had one of the largest audiences they'd ever had. At that time, I said, if my managers refused to use the menu, I would have to terminate that manager without prejudice. Because the menu is a safe, legal way. It won't guarantee that you're legally compliant, but it'll document legal compliance. It forces the manager to present all the products all of the time. Now, have you ever, as an F&I manager, have you ever had reluctance to present a product? Have you ever been afraid to present a product? Now don't be too quick to say you're not afraid. I set records in F&I, and every time I delivered a vehicle, I was afraid. And what I mean by afraid is you have a nervousness that you're going to push the customer too far, that you're going to say something. The salesman's already warned you. Most F&I TOs go like this. Oh, look, don't blow these people out. Mr. Ziegler, I need this deal. I mean, the salesman has already set you up. Don't blow this deal out. Come on now. So you're sitting there. Every deal I ever did, especially when I was going for the big numbers, I was afraid. But that's okay. But to submit to that and not present the products or not go for it, I'm going to tell you right now, most F&I is not sold because the customer said no. Most F&I today is not sold because you chickened out. I chickened out. We didn't present the product. We had reluctance to present. So you've got to overcome that. And the menu affords you that, because the menu requires that you present every product to every customer every time. Now understand, it's a format. Now today, there's a lot of different formats of menu. Now get this, I mean, electronics, technology's taken over. Some people are doing F&I on a tablet, on an iPad. Other people are using a DocuPad, Reynolds. Now, frankly, I'm going to tell you what, some of the clients that I work with are using the DocuPad. And I believe the DocuPad is probably the most advanced, best technology for presenting the menu that's on the market. But unfortunately, you have to be a client of Reynolds to have that technology. So whether you're using a paper menu, which I'm okay with that, you're using a technology menu, or you're using a DocuPad or something like that, the principles of presenting the menu are still the same. Now, number one, the menu is not the reason they're here. Now understand what I'm saying right now. One of the biggest mistakes that amateur F&I managers make presenting the menu is that when the customer walks into the office, you're sitting there with the menu in your hand like it's the most important thing that they're ever going to do. I mean, you're focusing the menu as the main focal point of their attention. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought a car or a house? Now think about it. You bought a house. More documents involved in buying a house than an automobile. So you bought a house, and say your spouse was with you or your significant. So the first thing you did, the attorney gave you a piece of paper, and you read every line on that piece of paper. And you handed it to your spouse. And your spouse read every line on that piece of paper. Read the back of it. And then you gave each other permission to sign it, and you signed it. And then the attorney gave you the second piece of paper and explained it to you. And you read every word on it, you turned it over, and turned it to your spouse, and your spouse read every word on it and looked at it, and you gave each other permission. But then the attorney gave you the 33rd piece of paper, and you signed it, and you're signing. By the time you get to the 50th piece of paper, you're not even reading anymore. Because the first piece of paper they gave you, the first document that attorney handed you, you read every word. Do not present the menu right off. Sign an odometer statement, sign a title application, sign anything before you get to the menu. The menu is just understand the concept. The menu is just another routine document in the stack. It's not the most important thing we're doing here. So whether it's electronic menu or whether it's a tablet, whether it's a piece of paper, the menu is not the most important thing we're doing. It is just another routine document in the stack. And remember, one thing about F&I managers is you're hammering. It's obvious that you're emotionally involved, that they buy these products. Well, my attitude is what I call detached indifference. I don't care if you buy these products. My only job now is to explain the products to you, what they do, what they cover, and we'll be signing releases, waivers, and hold harmless agreements as you decide to self-insure on the products you did not take. Listen to what I just said very carefully. We're going to be signing documents, waivers, releases, hold harmless documents on those items that you did not purchase and agreed to self-insure. Did you hear that? Self-insure. What a powerful thing. That's original Ziegler, by the way. When a customer feels, wait a minute, I'm self-insuring? Yes, you are, sir. When your automobile's 15,000 high-tech component parts, and when you don't take that service agreement, that parts and labor agreement, you are agreeing to self-insure on the failure of those items beyond the warranty period. It has a big effect on the customer. So first of all, the menu is not the most important thing we're doing here. It will not guarantee that your presentation is liability-free, legal, and ethical. Using an F&I menu to self-finance will not guarantee that your presentation is liability-free, legal, nor will it guarantee you're ethical. But if you're not using an F&I menu, the presentation will 100% guarantee you're not legal, compliant, and ethical. Now remember I said that. So when I stood up at an NADA convention, I spoke at 14, 15, 16, 17, I forgot the number. I think it's 14 F&I, 15 NADA conventions. I spoke at a ton of them. And I was the highest rated speaker in the history of the organization at one time. I don't know where it stands now. But I got to tell you, when I stood up at that convention and I said, if my employee refused to use the menu, I would terminate that employee without prejudice. That's how serious the menu is. Okay, let's go down the list. I'm on page 16 of the book. The benefits of the menu. Number one, it shortens the delivery process. No doubt the people in the industry today are hammering to shorten the F&I process. The menu guarantees that. Presenting a menu should not take any more than 3 to 5 minutes. Now, listen to what I just said to you. 3 to 5 minutes. You do not sell on the menu. Now that blows people's minds when I say that. Stop trying to use the menu to sell and overcome objections. The menu only identifies low-hanging fruit. Now, let me ask you, are there a number of people that would buy the service contract if you just shut the hell up and didn't present it? I bet there are. A number of consumers would take the service contract if you just said, would you like the service contract? So by presenting the menu, you're identifying, they'll take the service contract. So it isolates the things that you don't have to spend any time selling. So don't sell on the menu. The menu only identifies what they will not buy. Understand what I'm trying to tell you. My whole attitude presenting the menu, once again, detached indifference. Frankly, I don't care if you buy these items. My only job is to present them, to explain the benefits, to sign waivers, releases, and hold harmless on those items that you did not buy, that you declined and agreed to self-insure. That word self-insure is going to be one of the most powerful things you can weave in and out of your presentation. Anything they don't buy, they're self-insuring. You didn't take the gap, you're self-insuring. You didn't take the parts and labor agreement, you're self-insuring. You didn't take the road hazard, you're self-insuring. No matter what you're talking about, if they didn't take it, they're self-insuring. Now put that into your presentation. It's original Ziegler, and it sold a lot of F&I for me.